starting into our undergraduate program. However, I hope I will be able to do justice to this afternoon's discussion, and I will do my best to try and answer. I also based some of my paper on some of the things that I have experienced as a member of the working group of the OSPD and the strategic plan for 2007 to 2017, and as a member of the working group of the SPN 21 and my experience as Director of Planning, Research and Development, my former life, way back then in 2007, not 2007, 1997 and onward. Now, I'd like to introduce that about sustainable development and the environment concern. There has been an upsurge in recent years on issues on the impact of human activities on our environment. A lot of that you can read through articles in the papers and through the internet. For example, if you type in education for sustainable development and citizenship in Google search, we'll end up with about 175,000 hits. All of them has something to do with education and sustainable development. You type another sentence, sustainable development, you have 21 million hits, all about climate change, and another 23 million if you just type climate change. No doubt, our fast-paced development and huge consumption, particularly in the more affluent part of the world, has a significant impact on our environment. We also recognize the existence of inequitable usage of our precious resources at national, regional, and global levels. And as Haji Rozan have explained, we in Brunei, you could guess which part are we under-consuming the world resources or overusing it. It will be an educated guess. So it's a battle between the rich and the poor. The rich will have all the resources and the poor will have little of the world's resources. UNDP report in 1998 indicated that world consumption has expanded at an unprecedented pace over the 20th century, with private and public consumption expenditure reaching 24 trillion in 1998, twice the level of 1975 and 6 times that of 1950. The growth seems exponential. In 1900, real consumption expenditure was barely 1.5 trillion compared to the present 24 trillion. If growth continues at this pace, we will reach a point where our Earth cannot sustain the rate of consumption. Conventional wisdom assumes that environmental damage is a necessary consequence of economic growth. This is wrong. Environmental damage is a drain on economic growth, and it is possible to pursue a path to growth that does not damage the environment. Now, the idea of sustainable development grew from numerous environmental movements in early decades. Summits such as the Earth Summit in Rio, Brazil in 1992 were a major international meeting to bring sustainable development to the mainstream. Since then, there have been many other major meetings of governments aimed to tackle issues on the environment and climate change, such as the World Summit on Sustainable Development in Johannesburg in 2002, the Kyoto Protocol in 1997 on the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and so on. You can read that in the... However, the record on moving towards sustainable or sustainability so far appears to have been quite poor. The concept of sustainable or sustainability means many different things to different people. And a large part of humanity around the world still live without access to basic necessities. Earlier, someone was talking about water as a resource where not everybody have easy access to water. In March 2005, the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, or in short we call it MA, was released. This 2,500-page report was 4 years in the making, drawn by 1,300 researchers from 95 nations over 4 years, and funded by the Global Environment Facility, the United Nations Foundation, the World Bank, and various others. The objective of the MA was to assess the consequences of ecosystem change for human well-being and the scientific basis for action needed to enhance the conservation and sustainable use of those systems and their contribution to human well-being. Now, surveying the planet and the report of the MA, the key messages from the report include the following points. Everyone in the world depends on nature and ecosystem services to provide the condition for a decent, healthy, and secure life. The second point is humans have made unprecedented change to ecosystems in recent decades to meet growing demand for food, fresh water, fiber, and energy, which has helped to improve the lives of billions, but at the same time they weaken nature's ability to deliver other key services such as purification of air and water, protection from disaster, and the provision of medicine. Human activities have taken the planet to the edge of a massive wave of species extinction, further threatening our own well-being. You've heard of tigers now becoming fairly rare. They are being hunted down to almost extinction for medicinal use and so on. Those are one of many, many species that we are losing in this particular generation. The loss of services derived from ecosystem is a significant barrier to the achievement of the Millennium Development Goal, a goal set up by the United Nations to reduce poverty, hunger, and disease. The pressures on ecosystem will increase globally in coming decades unless human attitude and action change. We talk about mindset change. So these are the things that we need to do soon rather than later. Measures to conserve natural resources are more likely to succeed if local communities are given ownership of them, share the benefits, and are involved in decisions. Even today's technology and knowledge can reduce considerably the human impact on ecosystems. They are unlikely to be deployed fully, however, until ecosystem services cease to be perceived as free and limitless, and their full value is taken into account. Better protection of natural assets will require coordinated efforts across all sections of governments, businesses, and international institutions. The productivity of ecosystem depends on policy choices on investment, trade, subsidies, taxation, regulation, among others.